Hi everyone, welcome to our Mastercam Essentials course. We're going to start with our wireframe, and wireframe consists of the following sections. It's divided into points, lines, arcs, splines, shapes, curves, and your modify function. We're going to do one section at a time, so lesson 1 will be about points. So we're going to look at how to do everything that's got to do with points. So if we go under our points here, we click on the down tab there, you will see there's quite a few different variations of points that you can create, starting with point position. If we click on point position, it opens up a menu and the type is set to point defaultly. So with that opened, you can click anywhere on the screen and it will create a point. Or other, if you want a more accurate or specific position, you can just type in the X and Y coordinate. So you can go X, just start typing X 50, Y 50 and enter. You will see, zoom out a little bit, our first point is created at X 50, Y 50. So if we want to create another one, we can go to X minus 50, Y 50, enter. There's our other point. So we can create 4 points. Go to X minus 50, Y minus 50, enter. And the last point will be X 50, Y minus 50. And we can accept that there. So if we look at the screen, you should have 4 points in 4 different quadrants, 50 out of each other. Okay, just gonna go and select everything from the window. I'm just gonna delete that in a moment. Gonna go to points position again. Gonna look at dynamic point. So if you hover over the point, it will tell you exactly what this function is going to do. So if you look at that point dynamic, it's create a point on a line or any position along an entity. So if we go click on that, I've got a pre-selected layer, so I'm going to open my levels. I'm going to open my surface level there. Make that my default level, and then now what I can do, this function makes it nice because I can click on anywhere on the surface, and if we turn the surface on the side, you'll see it's a spline surface. It's got a shape. So if I go back to my top view and I click anywhere on the surface, I click there and I go to the deeper crevice of it, and I click there and I go onto the top again, I click there. I turn the surface on its side, you'll see it'll create a point on the surface where I actually touched it. So it will do a 3-dimensional point for you. Okay. Just gonna go and delete that again and move right on to the next one. Point segment, create a multiple points along existing entity. Okay, I'm gonna just draw use one of my levels again. Use a spline. So I can click on that spline. Enter my distance. I want it to be 5, and I want it a number. You can choose a number of occurrences. So if we zoom in there, you can say I want 10 occurrences. So it'll divide it equally 10 times. So you'll have 10 points along this specific shape. It can be a spline, it can be a line, it can be any wireframe entity. Just gonna go just out there. Just gonna do that one. Go to my top view again. Go to my levels. Switch back onto one. Switch that off. Go to my points again, and I'm going to go to point endpoint. So what this will do is it will actually create a point to all visible endpoints of a specific entity that's visible on the screen at the moment. Click there, go to endpoints. You'll see immediately it creates a point on the endpoint of the spline, the start and the end point. Okay. Next one, we're going to look at node points. Okay, I just want to undo that quickly. So if we go to node points, so node points, it will create a point on all the nodes of a existing spline. So it's going to want me to select that spline, and it's going to create a point on all the node points. So it will be the start node at the bottom, at the top at the bottom, top bottom, and at this end again. Okay, next one, it's going to be small arcs, point on small arcs. I'm going to just switch my levels, make my arcs. I've got the arcs already, just going to fit screen that. So as you can see here, I've got a lot of different, I've got two different sizes of circles. So the one is a radius 5 and the other one is a radius 10. So if I go to point position and I go to small point, small arcs, I want to create points in the center of the arcs, but I want to specify which size arcs I want to use. So I've specified maximum radius of arcs. I want 5 radius. So I'm gonna window select this. I'm going to press enter, and you'll see it only created the points in the center of the 5mm radius arcs and not the 10s. Okay, I'm going to accept that, and that's a different one, all the different points that we can use in this exercise. So I'm going to just delete that quickly. So the next one under the points menu is the bold circle. Bold circles, something I use quite a lot. It's a very handy tool. So you can select the base point. It can be in a model on a specific center point, or you can just use it in the center, like I displayed it here. So if I click there, zoom in a little bit, it creates a bold circle. So the method I'm going to use a full circle. I'm going to use I want 8 points. You can increase this by any number you want, and it will automatically space them. So I'm going to use 8. I'm going to use a diameter. So the diameter will be the circle diameter, which it will create the circles from. I'm going to use a 250 diameter. Start angle is 0. It's fine. It's there. I'm going to select what type of entities I want to display. If I use arcs, it will only create arcs at that specific point, arc of a 15mm diameter. So if I want both, because I want to drill holes there, I'm going to use both. So it already provides me with points at that specific place. Right. So that's for a normal 2D flat bold circle. If I've got a bold circle around a 4th axis that I want to draw, and I want to create a bold circle right around, I can then switch to bold circle. Go to my rotary axis, just click on rotary axis, and now it wants me to define the rotary axis, from which direction the rotary axis is. Is it around the x-axis? Is it around the y-axis? Is it around the z-axis? So on a normal milling machine, it normally will be around the x-axis. So if I click that, we can just turn and we can see exactly what it's going to do. It's going to create circles and points around that axis, so I can actually go and drill from that side. So I can use my fourth axis to drill these holes. Accept that, we can see. So now I don't have to go and create a plane especially for doing a bolt circle around a fourth axis. I can now go and use my bolt circle. I can just define my axis of rotation, in which axis I want it. So what I suggest you guys do is go through this video, stop it wherever you want, and try and just practice and see if you guys can get this correct, and if you can just give it some practice. So, hope you're going to enjoy this, and we'll see you guys in our next lesson.